Good morning, guys. So welcome to my YouTube classes, and this video is very important for the students writing in November 2020, May 21, November 21, because ICAI has uploaded a new PDF file in your Board of Knowledge portal called Referencer for Quick Revision. Those who are writing in November 20, May 21, November 21, is my sincere request. Please go to the videos, because this lecture will be covering all the latest case laws applicable for examination. We can expect minimum 2 to 3 case laws from this current video. Wait, now before watching the video, you should have this material in front of you. And how to get this material? You should go to ICAI website, Board of Knowledge, CA Final, New Syllabus, Paper 7. Under that Paper 7, you will find one word called Ready Referencer. Referencer for quick revision. You should take a printout copy and keep it ready with you. If it is ready with you, then only watch the video, else close the video, go out, go to a Xerox shop, take the printout, and then continue watching the video. Before that, do not do that anything. Okay, so this is on final course paper 7, direct taxes and international taxation. I guess it is of around 13 pages material, if I remember, if I understand, or yeah, it's 13 pages, I guess. It's 13 pages material. 1 to 7, page number 1 to page number 7 is on the section 115 BAA, 115 BAB, that is tax rates for new companies, that for which a separate video for that particular concept is already uploaded in my YouTube channel. You can go through that. So I will not be covering from page 1 to 7. That is your taxation, 115 BAA, 115 BAB, surcharge rates, everything is already covered and uploaded in my YouTube channel also. From there you can watch it. So this is 115 BAA, 115 BAB already covered, will not be covered by me again, and also the surcharge rates. So the surcharge is also covered. So we will directly go to this one. Overview of select significant Supreme Court rulings. So we will directly go to overview of select significant Supreme Court rulings. Okay, that is page number 7 of your particular thing, and we'll start. And we will start. Okay, overview of select significant Supreme Court ruling, that is page number 7. Page 1 to 6 is already covered by me. Let us start with the first one, that is CIET versus Saurashtra Cement Limited. I'll not be reading word by word and all. I'll just discuss the case law. You can read. You also know English, how to read. I also know. I'll not be reading word by word. I'll explain the case study. CIT versus Saurashtra Cement Limited case law. In this case law, what happened? Listen. I entered an agreement with a manufacturer to provide me a fixed asset in 3 months. You leave the time. I'm just giving you some dummy values, please, but the concept remains the same. The case law story remains the same. I entered an agreement with a manufacturer to supply me a fixed assets, and I told him you should supply within 3 months. He did not supply within 3 months. He violated the agreement. I went to court. Court told him to make some 5 lakhs compensation to me. I received compensation. Is it taxable? Government say, Supreme Court held it is not taxable. Whatever I received, because of his fault, he delayed the agreement, he delayed the contract, I received not taxable, for your knowledge. What about him then? What did he do? He made the payment. He can debit that amount to P&L account. But we are not talking the case study from his point of view. From the point of view of the receiver, this case study is, from the point of view of the receiver who is receiving the amount, it is a capital receipt and not taxable. That is Saurashtra Cement. Number 2, CIT was HCL Technologies Limited. This is for section 10AA. Special provisions for SEZ. This was covered in my classes only. 10AA. Expenditure incurred in foreign exchange for the provision of technical service outside India, which is deductible for computing export turnover, to be excluded from the total turnover of computing deduction 10AA. If you have attended my classes, you will find this case law in that particular one. Answer is yes. Any expenses for technical service outside India shall be excluded for calculating the export turnover. Why do we require export turnover? Because deduction at 10AA is depending upon export profits. Export profits is nothing but profit of SEZ into export turnover by total turnover, and for the first 5 years you will get 100%, next 5 years you will get 50%, and the next 5 years you get 50%, or amount transferred to SEZ reinvestment reserve, whichever is lower. ये सब revision class चल रहा सर, so you might find my speed थोड़ा बहुत on the higher side, but all these are for revision purpose. I will not be reading the case laws. My job is to discuss the case laws. Okay, this was the second one. Now the third. Chennai Properties Investments Limited. In this case law, what happened was, I am an SEC. I incorporated a company in my memorandum of association. The object clause was buying the property, giving on rent. Buy property, rent it. Buy property, rent it. That's my object clause. Now the question arises whether that income will be house property income or business income. Supreme Court held in Chennai Properties, mark as very important. Every time he will ask this only. If my object clause is buy the property, rent, buy property, rent, buy property and rent, it is a business income and taxable under PGBP and not under house property. I repeat, taxable under PGBP, business income, and not under house property. Not under house property. Chalo, next. Fourth one. ICDS Limited versus CIT. You can open our module number 3 if you have attended my classes, PGBP. In your depreciation, you will find this case study also, ICDS. Can depreciation on leased vehicles be denied on the lessor to the lessor on the ground that vehicles are registered in the name of lessee and the lessor is not the actual user of the vehicle? Does not matter in case of lease. When lessor gives an asset to lessee to use, depreciation can be claimed by lessor only because section 32 says he is the actual owner, and depreciation can be claimed only if he is the owner of the asset, lessor is the owner. Even though asset is registered in the name of technically registered in the name of, it does not matter. Unregistered owner is also an owner. Owner can be legal owner, unregistered owner, deemed owner, or co-owner. So in this case, lessor can claim the depreciation no matter what. Fourth one. Fifth one में क्या है? CIT versus Smith Securities Limited. Let me take one example. This also was covered by me in the classes. You can check your PGB module. I took over a company. The net worth of that company was 100 rupees. I paid 120 rupees. I paid extra 20 rupees. The 20 rupees extra is called goodwill. If I have paid less amount, that was called as capital reserve. But if I paid more amount, that's a goodwill. I paid goodwill for 20 rupees, purchased the company for 120, even though value was 100. Can I claim depreciation on that goodwill of 20? Answer is yes, because that's a purchased goodwill. If it is a purchased goodwill, depreciation can be claimed at the rate of 25% under section 32, subsection 1, clause 2 of Income Tax Act. This case law may Supreme Court held, if you purchase the goodwill of 20, yes, you can claim depreciation on that at the rate of 25% because it's an intangible asset. This case law you will find in our module also. CIT versus Smith Securities Limited. So let's continue. This was case law number 5. Case law number 6. Berger Paints India Limited versus CIT. This was asked in November 19 exam. This case law was asked. Where the premium on subscribe, now listen, section 35, this speaks about section 35, that is preliminary expenses amortization. And if it's an Indian company, 5% of capital employed or cost of project, which is higher. Now, what in my capital employed? Equity share capitals plus reserves and surplus plus debentures plus long-term borrowings. Should we include securities premium in that? Supreme Court held it will not be included. It will not be included. The premium amount will not be included. You can check your 35D notes in our PGP module 3 in running notes. You will find this point which already covered. The definition of capital employed for section 35D purpose does not include share premium or securities premium. Next, Palam Glass Service Limited. whether section 40AB is attracted when the amount is not payable to a subcontract but has been actually paid. The moment you default in TDS बोल तो does not deduct TDS or deducted but not paid. 30% of the expenditure will be disallowed if the deductee is a resident. 100% of the expenditure will be disallowed if the deductee is a non-resident. No matter what. That is the case law talking about this. This case law we will have in our case law study material also. This one. Number 8. Balakrishna versus Union of India and others. Am I supposed to remember the name of the case law? Answer is no. You need not remember the name. If you remember the decision and the concept, that's more than sufficient. You are not Chittis or Sanas of Robo, the Rajinikanth movie, where you will by heart the name of the case laws. Not required. Whether receipt of higher compensation after notification of compulsory acquisition would change the character of transaction into voluntary sale as to deny the exemption under section 10 subsection 37. Whether the receipt, now what is section 1037? I need not tell you. 1037 says if the SSC is an owner of an urban agricultural land which is compulsory acquired by government or RBI used by the SSC for farming purposes for last 2 years by him or his family is compulsorily acquired, the compensation paid by the government to him is exempt under section 10 subsection 37. We covered this under compulsory acquisition of capital asset chart. That is what is talking about here. That receipt will be exempt no matter what. Higher original compensation rendo, enhanced compensation rendo, kuch bhi rendo, that is exempt. Next, point number 9. CIT versus Dempo Company Limited. In case where a depreciable asset is held for more than 24 months, is transferred can be of 54 EC if the capital gain on sale of such asset are invested in long term within the specified time. 54 EC क्या बोलता? 54 EC says if it is a long term capital asset, that is land, building or both, and you are investing within 6 months from the date of transfer in the bonds of NHAI or REC or Indian Railway Finance Corporation Limited or Power Finance Corporation Limited, you will get an exemption up to amount invested or capital gain which is lower up to a maximum of 50 lakhs. That is what is talking about here. Sir, you should go through the case laws. Don't by heart the case laws decision. Not required. Absolutely not required. Fiber Boards Private Limited versus CIT. Can advance given for purchase of land and building turn amount to utilization? This you will find in our case law module also in capital gains. So please check that. I will not repeat it once again. Exactly same you will find Fiber Boards Private Limited versus CIT. Please check you were given a 75 pages, 80 pages case law study material. Under that, under capital gains chapter, you will find this name, Fiber Boards. Okay. That is on 54B. 54G. Next. CIT versus Sri Rama Multitech Limited. Is interest income from share application money deposited in the bank eligible for set off against public issue expenses or should nullation? This also we have in our case study module. I also have already covered also, which says that a company went for IPO, got a share application money deposited in a bank, they got interest. That will that interest be taxable, or I can deduct that interest from the share issue expenses? Supreme Court held the interest what you get on share application money deposited in the bank, that interest amount will not be taxable. Instead, you should deduct that interest amount from the issue share expenses and the net amount will be debited to P&L account. You can check the point. So you can deduct that interest amount from the share issue expenses. No second thought about it. 12, 13, 14 के लिए वन टाइम रिव्यू बोल के लिखो. That is an ATIE, ATIB, ATIC. That's just write one time review, one time read and leave it. Nothing great you have in that. We'll directly go to 16, 1, 6, 16. Can dividend, now listen, I am an agriculture company, I am declaring dividend. Should I also pay DDT, or why my DDT will be reduced by 40%, 60%, because 60%, 40, 75, 25 will be allowed? No. No matter who you are, you have to pay DDT at the rate of 20.555% on the dividend amount under section 150. No, irrespective of the fact that you are an agriculture income, your income earned is exempt, but when you declare dividend, that is liable for DDT. A company is into agricultural sector earning agriculture income, he need not pay tax, agreed, but when they declare dividend, they have to pay DDT at the prescribed rates, no matter what. That is case law number 16. Case law number 17. Whether certain receipts by cooperative society from its members are exempt based on the doctrine of mutuality. This I'll read. Doctrine of mutuality is based on the common law principle that a person cannot make a profit from himself. You cannot sell the goods to yourself. Accordingly, the transfer charges, non-occupancy charges, common enmity fund charges and other charges are exempt owing to application of doctrine of mutuality. This is nothing great you have in this. कुछ great नहीं है सर. मैं जो 3 one time review बोला वो सब leaving that everything you read it properly. Next. CIT versus Govind Bhai Manalaya case law. This was covered when I covered taxation of AOP concept. This case law was covered by me when I discussed taxation of AOP concept. Whether land inherited by 3 brothers is compulsory acquired by state government, whether the resultant capital gain would be assessed in the hands of AOP or their individual status. A father died, father had 3 sons, father had 3, assume karo, father had 3 acres, father died, 3 acres inherited by 3 sons, 1 acre each, that is compulsorily acquired by government. Now, should the tax be on as a AOP or as per individually? Supreme Court held it will be calculated individually only and not as per association of persons, because they came together not voluntarily, they came together due to legal inheritance, so they will not be taxable under AOP. As per individuality only, that income will be taxable as per in the individual hands. And same case law, it was covered by me in taxation of AOP concept. No second thought about it. Next, 19. Joint CIT versus Rolta India. This is under MAT concept. This also we have. You can check our module. If a company is liable to pay MAT and has filed the return after the due date, does not pay the advance tax, interest under 234A, B and C also will be levied. Whether he is paying normal tax or tax under MAT, 234A, B, C provisions will definitely apply irrespective of anything. That is CIT versus Rolta India Limited case law. 1 minute, I am giving, just read once. सर ये केस लॉ अच्छे से पढ़ के जाना सर. वी कैन एक्सपेक्ट एटलीस्ट 1 or maximum 2 for 2 to 3 marks each. That's the reason I'm covering, so it becomes easy. I am not reading word by word. That's not my headache. My job is to explain the case law which I am explaining. ठीक है, चलो नेक्स्ट. केस लॉ नंबर 20. CIT versus Society for Promotion of Education. This is a charitable trust case law. Whenever I file an application for CIT for registration of charitable trust, he should either accept my application or reject within 6 months. If he neither accept or neither reject, it will be deemed to be accepted. Supreme Court judgment in this case law. 5 conditions we have in charitable trust: registration, activities in India, maintenance of books of accounts, audit, filing of return of income. Number 4, application of income. Number 5, investments. Number 1 is registration. You should apply for registration with CIT in form 10A, and he should either accept or reject my application within 6 months. If he neither accepts neither rejects in 6 months, it will be deemed to be accepted. Supreme Court held in a judgment given by Supreme Court in CIT versus Society for Promotion of Education case law. ये case law में that was the judgment given by the court. Next, question number 21. Okay, question number 21 बोलो या आप case law number 21 बोलो. ITC versus CIT Limited. This also we covered in TDS. I went to ITC hotel. Bill came of 987. I paid 13 rupees. I paid as a tip. Will tip be called as a salary to employee and will TDS be deducted? The matter went with Delhi High Court. Delhi High Court said tips is a salary. TDS should be deducted. But matter again with Supreme Court. Supreme Court text only we should write. Supreme Court held salary means anything paid by the hotel fellow to the waiter due to an obligation or a contract, whereas the 13 rupees is paid by the customer voluntarily due to his satisfaction of his services, then that amount will not be treated as salary and TDS need not be deducted on the tips paid by the customer to the waiters of the hotel, which was held by the Supreme Court in ITC Limited versus CIT case law. Next, number 22. Japan Airlines. This is whenever, this also was covered in 194I case study. Whenever an airline company pays landing and parking charges which is used by them for landing their aircraft, parking their aircraft to airline authorities, TDS under 194I will not apply, but TDS under 194C under contract TDS will be leviable or applicable. Check karo, this was already covered by us, but it will not be covered under 194I rent. It will be covered under 194C contract, landing and parking charges. Next, case law number 23. CIT versus SV Gopala and others. Does CBT have the power to amend legislative provisions through a circular? CBDT can issue circulars which cannot be contradicting to the provisions of the Income Tax Act. Income Tax Act says ATC is 1.5 lakhs. CBT tomorrow cannot issue a circular. From today we are declaring that ATC will be only 1 lakh. That's not possible. Even if they do that, that circular will be called as invalid, void, not applicable circular, because that is against the or not in line or contradictory to the provisions of Income Tax Act 1961. So whatever circular CBT has to issue, that should be in line or in accordance with the provisions of Income Tax Act. Remember that. Next, CIT versus Meghalaya Steels Private Limited. Does High Court have an inherent power to review? Yes, we also covered this also in appeals and revisions. Only Supreme Court and High Court has the power to review their own orders. CIT appeals and ITAT do not have the power to review. Once they pass the order, they cannot change the order until there is a mistake in the order. But High Court and Supreme Court can review their own orders. That also we covered in appeals and revisions. Next, CIT versus AA Estate Private Limited. Considering the procedure as prescribed under 260A, is the High Court justified in not framing any substantial question of law itself, adjudicating merely on the question put forward by the appellant? If you remember this, you can go to appeals if there is a question of law or question of fact or mixed question of fact and law. But if it's a question of fact, you can only go till ITAT. ITAT is also called Final Fact Finding Authority. You can go to High Court or Supreme Court only if it's a question of law or mixed question of fact and law. That is what is the Supreme Court held. So High Court only can take up your case only the case involves either question of law or mixed question of fact and law. Here the question of law was framed by the SSE. However, the court should decide whether the question of law you have or you don't have as per the prescribed rules. Next, whether delay in filing under section 260 can be condoned before, where the stated reason for delay is the pursuance of an alternate remedy by way of filing an application before ITAT for rectification of mistake on record. Now listen, this also very simple. You can file appeals to CIT appeals within 30 days, ITAT 60 days, High Court 120 days, Supreme Court 90 days. But they also have the power for condonation of delay. Condonation of delay also, can I file the appeal after the time limit? Yes, provide they are satisfied and you have a genuine reason. If is this called a genuine reason? Supreme Court held, yes, it's a genuine reason. The time limit for High Court is 120 days, I should file the appeal. But if you file after 120 days and there is a genuine reason, High Court can accept your case and hear your case depending upon the merits of the case. सर मैं वापस बोल रहा हूँ, I can go through this case studies like this, but एक बार पढ़ लेना आप लोग. Majority case laws we have already discussed in our case law module when either in our face-to-face classes or virtual classes. Next is this you will find in settlement commission case, settlement commission chapter, last question in our module 1. Module 1, settlement commission, you will find this. Does settlement commission has the power to grant interest on refund? Answer is yes, they have the power to grant interest on refund also. This you can find, definitely you will find. Last question on our settlement commission will be this only. Next, 28. To start scrutiny assessment, notice under 143(2) is required. Unless and until you give the notice, assessment cannot be done. Here what happened? Notice was not given, assessment happened, AO passed the order, government held or Supreme Court held it's a void assessment, because assessment cannot start without the school bell ring, without giving the notice under 143(2). To start assessment under 143(3), that is scrutiny assessment, notice has to be served under 143(2) within 6 months from the end of the financial year in which return of income is filed. But without giving notice, you start the assessment, pass the order, that will be called a void assessment, invalid order, invalid assessment. 28 is speaking about that only. Please मैं वापस बोल रहा हूँ, before watching the video please take a printout of this, either you take colored Xerox or black and white, that's up to you, then only watch the video. And the last one, is notice issued on 143(2) and 142 to the amalgamating company after approval of scheme of amalgamation by the High Court and intimation of the same to the AO, a defect curable under section 292B. अब सुनो, I'll explain within one example. इसमें क्या हुआ था? Idea company was taken over by Vodafone. Okay. An Idea company informed the department I am getting amalgamated with Vodafone. After that also department issued notice to Idea for some tax liability, tax arrears. Is it a valid notice? No, he should have given the notice to Vodafone, because Vodafone took over Idea. Now it is all the assets and liabilities of Idea will become the assets and liabilities of Vodafone. So the department should give notice to Vodafone and not to Idea, and the notice given to Idea will be called as invalid or void notice. Invalid or void notice. And if you see this one, case law number 28, this is also covered in November 2020 RTP. One of the questions is based on this case law only. You can check it out. This case law was also asked in November 2020 RTP, so we can expect this case law as one of the important, expecting in either November 2020 or May 21 or November 21 examination. It's a 13 pages referencer, out of which first 6 pages speaks about 115 BAA, BAB, surcharge rates. Everything was already covered and uploaded in my YouTube channel. The balance 29 case laws which we have here, and I thought we'll be discussing that. Okay, have a nice day, sir. please watch this video properly and make a notes also if you want, and go through this 29 case laws 3 hours before exam for an overview. पक्का एक या मैक्सिमम दो तो नहीं आता, एक, one if asked, definitely one case law will be asked from this 29. Have a nice day. Thank you so much. Stay safe.